Hello, my dear friend. I see you there, sitting in that quiet house that used to be filled with the sounds of children. I see you looking at those empty bedrooms, those family photos on the mantle, wondering who you are now that your most important job, being their mom, has shifted into something different. If you're feeling lost, confused, or even a little panicked about this new phase of life, I want you to know something. You are not alone, and your feelings are completely valid. The transition from active parenting to empty nesting is one of the most significant life changes a woman can experience, and it's okay to grieve it. Maybe you're feeling like your purpose has walked out the door with your last child. Maybe you're wondering what to do with all this time, all this space, all this quiet. Maybe you're questioning who you are when you're not needed in the same way you've been needed for decades. Or perhaps you're feeling guilty because part of you is relieved and you think you shouldn't feel that way. Maybe you're excited about new possibilities but afraid to admit it because it feels like betraying your role as a mother. Today, in our What About Me conversation, we're going to talk about this tender transition with all the love and understanding it deserves. We're going to explore why this phase of life isn't an ending. It's a beautiful, powerful beginning. Because your life is not over, darling. Your story is not finished. Your most important chapters might still be unwritten, and the woman you're becoming in this empty nest might be the most authentic, joyful, and free version of yourself you've ever been. First, my dear, I want to give you permission to grieve. What you're experiencing isn't just an adjustment, it's a profound loss. You're mourning the end of an era, the conclusion of the most intensive phase of motherhood, and that deserves to be acknowledged. For years, maybe decades, your identity has been wrapped up in being needed. You were the one who kissed scraped knees, helped with homework, drove to soccer practice, worried about curfews, celebrated achievements, and comforted disappointments. Your days were structured around their needs, their schedules, their lives. And now, suddenly, that structure is gone. The phone doesn't ring with requests for help. The laundry pile is smaller. The grocery bill is lower. The house stays clean longer. These might sound like positives, but when they represent the absence of your children's daily presence in your life, they can feel like losses. You might be feeling what psychologists call ambiguous loss. You're grieving something that isn't gone entirely, but has changed dramatically. Your children are still alive, still part of your life, but the relationship has shifted. The daily intimacy of their childhood is over, and that's worth mourning. Some days you might feel proud of the independent, capable adults you've raised. Other days you might feel abandoned, forgotten, or unnecessary. Both of these feelings can exist at the same time, and both are normal and valid. You might also be grieving the dreams you put on hold, the career opportunities you passed up, the hobbies you abandoned, the friendships that faded because you were so focused on your children's needs, the parts of yourself that got buried under the beautiful, demanding work of motherhood. It's okay to feel sad about this transition. It's okay to cry when you walk past their empty rooms. It's okay to feel a little lost when you realize you don't know what you want for dinner because you're only cooking for yourself. These feelings don't make you weak or pathetic. They make you human, and they make you a mother who loved deeply and gave generously. Now, my beautiful friend, I want to talk to you about something exciting. Underneath all that grief and confusion, there's an opportunity that might be hard to see right now. This empty nest phase is your chance to rediscover who you are beyond your role as a mother. For so many years, you've been defined by your relationships to others, as a wife, a mother, a daughter, an employee. But who are you when you strip away all those roles? What do you love? What makes you curious? What brings you joy? What are your dreams, your passions, your desires? This might feel scary because you might not remember. It's been so long since you asked yourself these questions. It's been so long since your own preferences mattered as much as everyone else's. But that woman, the one with her own interests, dreams, and desires, she's still there. She's been waiting patiently for this moment. Think back to who you were before you became a mother. What did you love to do? What were you curious about? What dreams did you have? Some of those interests might not appeal to you anymore, and that's okay. But some of them might still spark something in you, and that's where you can start. Or maybe you want to explore completely new territories. Maybe motherhood taught you things about yourself that you never knew before. Maybe you discovered you're more patient than you thought, more creative, more resilient. more capable of love than you ever imagined. These discoveries can guide you toward new interests and pursuits. This is also a time to examine the beliefs and expectations you've been carrying about what women should do at your age. Society might tell you that your adventurous years are behind you, but that's simply not true. Some of the most vibrant, creative, adventurous women I know are in their 60s, 70s, and beyond. You have decades of experience, wisdom, and strength that you didn't have when you were younger. You have financial resources you might not have had before. You have fewer obligations and more freedom. You have the confidence that comes from having successfully raised human beings. These are incredible assets for creating a fulfilling life. I want to help you see some of the beautiful gifts that come with this empty nest phase. Gifts that might be hard to recognize when you're in the midst of grief and adjustment. Gift number 1, time. For the first time in decades, your time is your own. You can sleep in on weekends without worrying about getting someone to practice. You can take a long bath without interruption. You can read a book from beginning to end in one sitting. You can pursue hobbies that require sustained attention and focus. Gift number 2, energy. The emotional and physical energy you've been pouring into active parenting is now available for other pursuits. Gift number 3, financial freedom. Depending on your situation, you might have more disposable income now that you're not paying for school activities, clothes that are quickly outgrown, or college expenses. This might be the time you can finally take that art class, plan that trip, or invest in that hobby you've been putting off. Gift number 4, relationship renewal. If you're married or in a partnership, this is an opportunity to rediscover each other without the constant focus on children's needs. You can have adult conversations, go on dates, travel together, and remember why you fell in love in the first place. Gift number 5, deeper friendships. You now have time to invest in friendships that might have been neglected during the intensive parenting years. You can have long lunches, take classes together, travel with friends, and build the kind of deep, supportive relationships that enrich life immeasurably. Gift number 6, the opportunity to model thriving. Your children are watching how you handle this transition. When you create a fulfilling, joyful life for yourself, you're showing them that life doesn't end when parenting responsibilities decrease. You're modeling what it looks like to continue growing and evolving throughout life. These gifts don't minimize the grief you're feeling, but they can coexist with it. You can mourn the end of one phase while celebrating the beginning of another. Now, my dear, I need to talk to you about something that might be making this transition even harder than it needs to be. Guilt. Oh, the guilt that we mothers carry. It's time to set some of that burden down. You might be feeling guilty for enjoying your newfound freedom. You might think that missing your children means you should be miserable all the time, and if you're not, you must not love them enough. This is absolutely not true. You can miss your children deeply and still enjoy the gifts of this new phase. You might be feeling guilty for not calling them every day, for not knowing every detail of their lives, for not being as involved as you used to be. But darling, this distance is healthy. It's what's supposed to happen. Your job was to raise independent, capable adults, and if they're living their own lives without needing constant input from you, that means you succeeded. You might be feeling guilty for wanting to pursue your own interests instead of being constantly available for their needs. But here's the truth. Your children don't need you to sacrifice your happiness for theirs. In fact, they'll be happier knowing that you're living a full, satisfying life. And please, please don't feel guilty if you're relieved that the intensive phase of parenting is over. Parenting is beautiful and rewarding, but it's also exhausting and demanding. It's completely normal to feel relief. You also don't need to feel guilty about the mistakes you made as a parent. Every parent makes mistakes. Every parent has regrets. The fact that you're worried about this shows how much you cared and how hard you tried. Your children will remember your love and dedication far more than your imperfections. Here's what I want you to remember. Taking care of yourself, pursuing your own happiness, and creating a fulfilling life is not selfish. It's necessary. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and you cannot model a life well lived if you're not living well yourself. Now let's talk about some practical, gentle steps you can take to begin creating this new chapter of your life. Remember, this is a process, not a destination, and you can move at whatever pace feels right for you. Step 1. Create a rediscovery list. Write down everything you used to enjoy before you became a mother. Everything you've been curious about, but never had time to explore, and everything you've dreamed of. Step 2. Start small. Choose one item from your list that requires minimal commitment and try it. Take a single art class. Read one book in a genre you've never explored. Visit one museum you've never been to. The goal isn't to find your life's passion immediately. It's to start moving and exploring. Step 3. Connect with other empty nesters. Seek out other women who are in this same phase of life. Join groups, take classes, volunteer for causes you care about. You'll find that you're not alone in this experience, and you might make some wonderful new friendships. Step 4. Redesign your space. If your children's rooms are sitting empty like shrines, consider repurposing them. Turn one into a craft room, a home office, a reading nook, or a guest room. This physical act of reclaiming space can be very symbolic and empowering. Step 5. Establish new routines. Without the structure of school schedules and children's activities, you might feel adrift. Create new routines that serve your interests and well-being. Maybe it's a morning yoga practice, an evening walk, or a weekly coffee date with a friend. Step 6. Consider volunteer work or part-time employment. If you've been out of the workforce or want to try something new, this might be the perfect time. Volunteering can provide purpose and connection, while part-time work can offer structure and income. Choose something that aligns with your values and interests. Step 7. Plan adventures. Whether it's a weekend trip to a nearby city or a dream vacation you've been postponing, start planning adventures. Travel can be incredibly rejuvenating and can help you see yourself in new contexts. Remember, you don't have to do all of these things, and you don't have to do them all at once. Choose what resonates with you and take it one step at a time. One of the most beautiful aspects of the empty nest phase is the opportunity to develop a new kind of relationship with your adult children. One based on mutual respect, shared interests, and genuine friendship, rather than dependency and caretaking. This transition requires letting go of your role as the primary problem solver and advice giver in their lives. It means resisting the urge to manage their decisions, fix their problems, or shield them from consequences. This can be incredibly difficult when your instinct is to protect and guide them. But here's the beautiful truth. When you step back and allow your adult children to navigate their own lives, you give them the gift of confidence in their own capabilities. You show them that you trust the job you did raising them. You allow them to become fully independent adults. This doesn't mean you stop caring or that you're not available when they truly need you. It means you shift from being their manager to being their consultant, available when asked, but not inserting yourself into every situation. You might find that when you stop trying to control or manage their lives, they actually want to spend more time with you. When your interactions aren't focused on what they should be doing differently, you can enjoy each other's company more fully. This is also the time to share more of yourself with them, not just your role as their mother, but your interests, your dreams, your experiences. They might be surprised and delighted to discover aspects of your personality they never knew existed. And please, resist the urge to make them feel guilty for living their own lives. Don't make comments about how lonely you are or how much you miss them in ways that make them feel responsible for your happiness. Your emotional well-being is your responsibility. My dear friend, I want you to consider the possibility that the best years of your life might still be ahead of you. I know that might be hard to believe when you're feeling lost and uncertain, but hear me out. You now have something you didn't have when you were younger: the wisdom that comes from experience, the confidence that comes from having successfully navigated major life challenges, and the freedom that comes from having fewer obligations to others. You know who you are in ways you didn't when you were 25 or 35. You know what matters to you and what doesn't. You're less concerned with what other people think and more focused on what brings you joy and fulfillment. These are incredible advantages for creating a meaningful life. This is the time to take risks you couldn't take when you had children depending on you. You can travel to places that might not have been suitable for family vacations. You can pursue interests that require time and focus. The point is, your story is not over. Your most adventurous, creative, joyful chapters might still be unwritten. The empty nest isn't an ending, it's a beginning. It's your chance to write a new story, one where you're the main character, not just the supporting cast in everyone else's drama. Let me give you 3 specific, gentle action steps you can take this week to begin embracing this new phase of your life. Action step 1, the memory and dreams exercise. Set aside an hour this week to do some reflective writing. First, write about your favorite memories from your children's childhood. Really savor these moments and feel grateful for the privilege of having experienced them. Then, write about your dreams for this next phase of your life. What do you want to experience? What do you want to learn? What do you want to contribute? Don't censor yourself. Just dream. Action step 2, the exploration commitment. Choose one thing you've been curious about but never pursued, and commit to exploring it this month. Sign up for a class, buy a book, visit a place, or call someone who shares that interest. Make it small and manageable, but make it real. Action step 3, the connection reach. Reach out to one person this week who might become part of your support system in this new phase. It could be an old friend you've lost touch with, a neighbor you'd like to know better, or someone you've met who shares your interests. The goal is to start building the relationships that will enrich this next chapter of your life. Remember, these are suggestions, not requirements. Choose what feels right for you and modify as needed. The important thing is to take some small action toward creating the life you want in this new phase. My beautiful, brave friend, your life is not over because your children have left home. Your purpose is not finished. You have raised human beings who are capable of living their own lives. That's not a failure. That's the ultimate success. You have given them roots and wings, and now it's time to remember that you have wings too. Your children don't need you to sacrifice your happiness for theirs. They need you to show them that life is worth living fully, that growth and adventure don't end at any particular age, and that the love you have for them is secure enough to allow both of you to flourish independently. So spread your wings, darling. Explore this beautiful world. Discover new aspects of yourself. Create the life you want to live. Your empty nest isn't a loss. It's a launching pad for the most authentic, joyful, and free version of yourself you've ever been. The best is yet to come, so embrace your freedom fully.